know it's cold, but this is something we just do not want to wait on. When somebody's earned advancement, earned another stripe, we wanted to get right through this. So we're going off the script before we start the homecoming ceremony. I just want to talk a little bit about earning a promotion in today's U.S. Navy. For the past several years, it's only gotten harder and harder to do. And I'm thankful that due to their phenomenal performance, the sailors we're going to call forward in a moment. Are some of the ones that are going to get to do that. Been on another strike thanks to their sheer dedication, determination, long hours studying, and their performance. It's one of the very best parts of my job, Master Chief Kelton's job, Tom's job, to get to promote these sailors. They're today's up-and-coming leaders who will lead our Navy for decades long after the three of us have been fighting for the shore. For those of you in the audience today who just missed getting advanced this time around, the shipmates are going to come forward here shortly. Our proof that you can do it, hang in there, study hard, and hopefully 6 months from now you'll be up here pinning on another strike. Those of you advancing today, congratulations, and I'll let Commander Lee tell you.
All right, let me just check, make sure this is working. Can everybody hear me in the back? Are we good? Okay, I guess it's a little touchy up here. All right, the frog keys forward here, Petty Officer Baker, Officer Haynes, Officer Klein, Officer Parker, Officer Payne, and Airman Hofstetter. Along with Petty Officer Newborn from NC 21. Okay. Okay, from Officer Naval Support Activity to ASAN Matthew Hofstetter.
I missed rehearsal.
The authority to wear the uniform of third class petty. Under reference A, you're hereby authorized to assume the title and wear the uniform of third class petty officer effective immediately. Your appointment carries with it the obligation that you exercise increased authority and willingly accept greater responsibility. Occupying now a position of greater authority, you must strive with a renewed dedication toward the valued ideal of service with honor. Under reference A, no persman, you will not be entitled to pay and other monetary allowances of a third class pay officer until actually advanced to the pay grade for which you've been selected. Congratulations, A.A. Butterfield. Okay, now for the new second class petty officers. First one will be AC2 Adrian Payon. SH2 Charles Parker. And then HT2 Casey Klein. And now for our first class is ABH1 Sean Baker. And CS1 Kevin Haynes. And then for first class John Newborn from NC 21. All right, and then I think Skipper has another announcement to make.
I'm not sure about that mic, so you've seen some of our great sailors here. We're blessed here on the Navy Lakehurst side of the Joint Base with exceptional caliber of sailors. And every year, the Chief's Mess has a very, very difficult task, and that is to name our Senior Sailor of the Year. And again, it's cold and it wasn't on the schedule, but I don't want to hold up another minute announcing that our Sailor of the Year for calendar year 2010 is FC1 Randy Hasso.
Come on up.
tough task to name a sailor here because we have so many great ones, but I don't think anybody would argue that she's an exceptional sailor, a great representative of the entire joint base of Navy Lakehurst. Finest traditions of the Navy she carries forward while learning every new program that seems to come out about every 5 minutes to try to take care of our sailors and make sure that they have career opportunity to progress forward and continue to serve. So I thank you for all you do.
Okay, we're ready to begin today's ceremony, so we have our participants take their places. Okay, it's my distinct pleasure to recognize our Navy sailors and their family who selflessly dedicate themselves in support of global war on terrorism by honorably serving in theaters such as Iraq, Afghanistan, the Horn of Africa, Guantanamo Bay, and numerous other countries in support of the Pacific Partnership for humanitarian relief efforts. We especially thank the family members for their unselfish support and sacrifice during the loved one's deployment while simultaneously holding down the home front. I would like to welcome the Joint Base McGuire Dixon Lakehurst leadership, Mayor Michael Frizzola from Manchester Township, the families and friends and co-workers of our honorees here today. Let me also welcome all active and retired service members, our civilian employees, and other guests who have taken the time to attend today's ceremony to honor these outstanding Navy Lakehurst sailors and share in the celebration of their accomplishments and, most importantly, their safe return. I'd also like to extend our sincere thanks to the following organizations and individuals who graciously helped put today's ceremony together: the American Recreation Military Service, the Arms Organization, Lakehurst VFW, the Toms River High School North Marching Band, Flowers by Adelia. Also, special thanks go to Ms. Patty Eduardo, Mrs. Sue Gajewski, Mrs. Mary Jo Disharoon, and CS1 Robert Lonergan for their assistance in coordinating today's ceremony. Okay, now, if I could have everybody rise. What I'd like to do is I'd like to have our IA sailors come forward first. Come on up to the front, guys. These are our IA returning sailors, and they have the families here with them. You guys go ahead and join your families now. Okay, if I can have you remain standing for the colors and national anthem. Parade the colors. Officer Jack Mitchell will now sing the national anthem.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed, and the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly
Chaplain Genevieve Clark will now deliver the invocation.
Let us pray. O God, our Creator and Preserver, we rejoice in the glorious heritage which is given to us by the sacrificial examples of the patriots we celebrate today. We behold Americanism at its best in the lives of those who have bravely fought, those who have died in battle, and those who have returned. May we continue their great work by paying attention to the furtherance of the values upon which our lives, our nation, and our future hope is founded. May we not break faith with the heroes who have gone before us, those that are being recognized this day, by undoing that which they have accomplished for our nation and the world. Help us to labor more diligently in breaking down the artificial barriers which exist among people. Forbid any inclination of ours to judge another by race or creed. Grant that these heroes, which we honor today, would be recognized for their unselfish courage, and may we strive to walk in their path of undaunted spirit in battle, patience in trials, and tenderness in victory. Above all else, as we give thanks for those who are before us, those who have returned safely, may we never forget all who have fought, those who are in harm's way this day, those who will be heading out to distant lands in the days and months ahead. Let us not only look to them for inspiration and emulation, but above all look to you, who is, who was, and who is to come. Amen.
Will guests please be seated? It's now my pleasure to introduce today's guest speaker, ladies and gentlemen, Captain Andy Butterfield.
First of all, I'll reiterate what Commander Lee said. A hearty welcome to all our distinguished guests, so much leadership here from the community and across the base. Fellow sailors, our honored fraternities, their family and friends, welcome to historic Navy Lakehurst and an integral part of the Joint Base of McGuire Base Lakehurst. I'll also repeat a heartfelt thank you to the many special people who worked so hard to make today's event a reality. They did this and they do so many other wonderful charitable activities because they're wonderful, caring people. People who love Navy Lakehurst, its traditions, its specialness, and most of all, our sailors. Welcoming home sailors from their long time away is as old a tradition in all of the navies of the world, for well as long as there have been ships. What sustains many sailors through long, arduous deployments is thoughts and dreams of home, the simple pleasures of home, of family and friends. This distance measured in both miles and months, in some cases, including today, by a year or more, and in some cases measured by the phenomenal growth of their child during the sailor's long absence. This separation is known not only to sailors, but also to soldiers, Marines, and airmen. The shared experience among those who serve in the uniforms of our military, and it is linked to our history, our forebears. While the locales change and our uniforms slightly change, we all share a common experience with those who paved the way before us, whose footsteps we follow. As hard as it can be to be away, it is almost always also challenging, rewarding, and meaningful. If you talk to any of these sailors today, they will tell you it was one of the best experiences of their lives. It's also hard on the deployed sailor or service member, but it can also be much harder on those they leave behind. So today we thank and praise just as much as those who deployed. Those who stayed at home, supported them, wrote to them, waited for them, and prayed for their safe return. Each of these sailors today either joined or rejoined through re-enlistment a Navy, a nation on a wartime footing. So they are all volunteers to this duty that they undertook. They also signed up for naval service, knowing that the lines between sea duty and shore duty have long since blurred. For those from the other services or civilian life, we were used to having arduous sea tours of 3 or 4 or even 5 years straight, doing multiple deployments. But we knew that on the next tour we could count on 2 or 3 year shore duty tour where we could refocus on our families, part-time education, try to get healthy and fit again. It's often joked, try to relearn our children's names and our way around the house and the neighborhood. But those days are gone for the foreseeable future. These sailors today, each employed on what used to be uninsured duty. Many of them, in fact, I believe all of them, were volunteers for these deployments. I should probably stick with the story that most of them were volunteers, just in case anybody told their significant other that they had to go, that I made them, and they actually volunteered. So let's say most of them were volunteers. Our Navy is still proudly deploying our ships, our aircraft, our submarines, and the sailors who make them all go every day of the year at every ocean and sea. And when you come home on that warship, you get welcomed home in a big way. The pier is packed with smiling and sometimes screaming loved ones. So in addition to our routine 24/7, 365 ship and squadron deployments, our Navy is also now through the Individual Augmentee or IA deployment program, quite simply finding every possible way we can to support our nation's ground forces, our own SEALs, Army and Marine Corps units, Air Force units, by sending those quote-unquote shore duty sailors downrange. Sometimes they have gone to work in their area of expertise, and sometimes, after a short dose of retraining, they've gone to work in new fields. All of this being done with a larger team in mind, to free up America's soldiers and Marines to focus on their primary missions, and hopefully also get them a little time at home by sailors filling in wherever possible. I think I speak for all of us when we are proud of our Navy for doing this. Deploying as an IA or a Navy of one, though as important as each job is, made it more difficult to give each sailor that appropriate welcome home. It is such a rich naval tradition. So I'm thankful again to the great people I mentioned earlier who figured out a way to do that today, to appropriately welcome home our sailors home for deployment. So here we are today, and to our shipmates recently returned, consider the pier packed. Wherever they went, these sailors put service to others ahead of self. They are remarkable, and we're very proud of them. They are representative of our very best selves, the best the U.S. has to offer. They're part of what is nothing short of the next great American generation, refortifying not just our own freedom, but those of other nations, offering hope to the forgotten, sparking dreams in those who in the past had dared not dream, and offering an example of life and service to all of us. I'm proud to wear the same uniform they wear. I'm thankful beyond words that they are each safely returned, and I'm thrilled to get the chance to speak for all of us here and tell them, welcome home, shipmates. Thank you all very much for being here today. We'll now conduct an award ceremony for our sailors and their families. Each sailor will receive a certificate of appreciation, and their spouse, children, or other special guests will also receive a token of our appreciation. Please note that all spouses or family members were able to join us today, but they too will receive certificates of appreciation. Okay, at this time I'd like to post the side boys. Chief Petty Officers who are serving as our side boys, prepare to receive our IA sailors and their families for piping. First up is AB1 Craig Gilmore. Officer Gilmore was assigned the Naval Provisional Detainee Battalion in Ramadi 3 at Camp Tajia, North Baghdad, Iraq, from February 2009 to February 2010. He served as Sergeant of the Guard. Petty Officer Gilmore expertly led a shift of 32 sailors and 56 Iraqi correctional officers, providing humane treatment, care, custody, and control of 440 of Iraq's detainees. And now read the certificate. Okay, the certificate for Pastor Gilmore says, in recognition of your faithful service to your country and the United States Navy, we honor you and sincerely thank you for your selfless dedication to duty. Signed, Captain Butterfield.
little tardy on the reading. Sorry. A little tardy on the reading of the certificate for Ms. Melodies Gilmore. It says, in my distinct pleasure to express a grateful appreciation of the United States Navy to you for your unselfish, faithful, and dedicated assistance during your husband's deployment. Your unfailing support and understanding enabled him to accomplish this important mission. Okay. Next up, Pay Officer Robert Lonergan. Again, his certificate says, in recognition for your faithful service to your country, United States Navy, we honor you and sincerely thank you for your selfless dedication to duty. And then, okay, to Mrs. Natasha Lonergan, it's my distinct pleasure to express a grateful appreciation of the United States Navy to you for your unselfish, faithful, and dedicated assistance during your husband's deployment. You unfailing support and understanding enabled him to accomplish this important mission. And then, certificate of appreciation to Ms. Courtney Lonergan. It's my distinct pleasure to express a grateful appreciation of the United States Navy to you for your unselfish, faithful, and dedicated assistance during your dad's deployment. Your support and understanding during his absence enabled your dad to successfully complete his mission. And then Pay Officer Lonergan, from June 2009 to March 2010, he was assigned to the Forward Operating Base Kalagush in North Province of Afghanistan as the liaison officer for 120 troops. He provided logistical and combat support with ordering, tracking, receipt, and movement of sensitive items, supplies, and ammunition. He also coordinated and arranged weekly rotary and fixed-wing flights for personnel executing maneuver elements for rest and relaxation leaves while operating a live combat zone. He was awarded his 5th Navy Achievement Medal and the Meritorious Service Medal. Okay, next up, we have Pay Officer Whitney Shelton. Her certificate says, in recognition of your faithful service to your country, United States Navy, we honor you and sincerely thank you for your selfless dedication to duty. Pay Officer Shelton volunteered for assignment on the USNS Mercy in April 2010 to support the Pacific Partnership of 2010. Visited 6 countries over a span of 5 months, strengthening relationships and improving disaster response skills while providing humanitarian and civic assistance along the way. She served as the aviation logistical support to a helicopter detachment. Her efforts allowed continuous helicopter support consisting of transport of over 2,400 passengers and 3,000 tons of equipment for the Pacific Partnership 2010. Petty Officer Christian Magnet.
Okay, Petty Officer Magnan's certificate says, in recognition for your faithful service to your country and the United States Navy, we honor you and sincerely thank you for your selfless dedication to duty. And then for Miss Allison Magnan, it's my distinct pleasure to express a grateful appreciation of the United States Navy to you for your unselfish, faithful, and dedicated assistance during your husband's deployment. Your unfailing support and understanding enabled him to accomplish this important mission. Partnership 2010. He was assigned the admin department with MWR division. He served as a duty admin. He checked in 320 personnel the first night of his tour visit to Hawaii.
Mission, they gave humanitarian aid to the population of the countries they visited, by training local health professionals, repairing broken equipment, performing surgeries, both medical and dental. He also was part of a crew that rebuilt orphanages and schools.
Okay, next up we have Pay Officer.
All right, next up we have Petty Officer Sean Baker. Okay, again, his certificate says, in recognition of your faithful service to your country and the United States Navy, we honor you and sincerely thank you for your selfless dedication to duty. And then certificate for Mrs. Brittany Baker. It's my distinct pleasure to express a grateful appreciation of the United States Navy to you for your unselfish, faithful, and dedicated assistance during your husband's deployment. Your unfailing support and understanding enabled him to accomplish this important mission. And for Petty Officer Baker, from April 09 to January 10, he served in detainee operations assignment in Afghanistan in the Bagram Theater Internment Facility. He was hand-selected to serve at the Kandahar Field Detention Site. After Kandahar, he was reassigned back to the Bagram internment duties. All right, these mics. As a former non-commissioned officer in a high-risk facility, he supervised over 30 Guard Force members, which was comprised of soldiers and sailors, and ensured that recreation, showers, meals, prayer calls, and movements over 615 detainees were completed on schedule. He was awarded the Army Commendation Medal, the Afghan Campaign Medal, and the International Security Assistance Force NATO Medal, and the Combat Operations Award from the 16th Military Police Brigade. Okay, next up is Petty Officer Justin Tremmel. And for his certificate, in recognition of your faithful service to your country and the United States Navy, we honor you and sincerely thank you for your selfless dedication to duty. Officer Tremmel was deployed to the eastern border of Afghanistan in the city of Jalalabad from November 09 to August 10. During this time, him and the military working dog Benzie endured rigorous taskings in support of the 4th Infantry Division, where they covered over 50 forward operating bases, combat outposts, and operating posts as the sole narcotics patrol military working dog team in the area of operation. Also during the off time, if anybody's wondering, Benzie couldn't be with us today. He's doing training, so I'm sure he would be a hit of the ceremony too. So during their off time, Benzie would tour the forward operating bases in search of new friends. Being the only dog at some locations, he became the hottest attraction in town. He was not only a military working dog, but also assumed the role of therapy dog for many sailors, soldiers, Marines, airmen, and civilians who had not seen or been able to play with animals or dogs since they departed for theater. Okay. All right, next up we have Petty Officer Sean Morgan. The certificate says, in recognition of your faithful service to your country and the United States Navy, we honor you and sincerely thank you for your selfless dedication to duty. Petty Officer Morgan was deployed from August 2009 to April 2010 with the Navy Military Police Battalion in Afghanistan. He was providing guard force and other support function for Army detainee operations at the detention facility in Bagram, Afghanistan. He served as the dining facility non-commissioned officer in charge of 10 Army and personnel, 50 civilians, in the production of over 800 meals a day as part of the new $64 million complex in the detention facility in Parwan. He volunteered to work outside his normal specialty and assumed a critical position of as a cell guard. He was responsible for the daily supervision of 80 detainees in the high-risk section of the facility. He was awarded the Army Achievement Medal, the Afghan Campaign Service Medal, and the NATO ISAF Medal. Okay, next up we have Petty Officer Rodriguez. a certificate in recognition of your faithful service to your country, United States Navy. We honor you and sincerely thank you for your selfless dedication to duty. If everybody thinks Petty Officer Rodriguez looks a little jet lagged, it's because he just literally came off the plane last night from overseas in theater. He was deployed to Ali Al Salam Air Base, Kuwait from May 2010 to December 2010. He was the Airport Debarkation Navy Liaison Officer, where he was able to maintain and oversee a 24/7 watch section at camp at the office with around-the-clock coverage of all sailors entering and departing Central Command area of responsibility. He successfully managed over 400 bus passes, 100 emergency leave cases, over 200 R&R cases, 19 emergency redeployers, and tracked over 79 flights and advanced 1,900 sailors into theater. He's widely recognized for his volunteer efforts by the USO at Camp Ali Al Salam. He unselfishly committed 90 documented hours of community service to the base and members of each branch, including Navy, Army, Air Force, Marine, Coast Guard, at the Camp USO. Petty Officer Rodriguez. Okay, here standing before you are some of the Navy's finest sailors, proud and strong. Standing at their side are supportive family members who, with these sailors, have helped keep our nation, the United States Navy, the greatest in the world. Will all guests please rise and join me in the loudest round of applause we can muster for these dedicated individuals for a job extremely well done. As we conclude our homecoming event, first of all, I'd like to have all of our homecoming sailors and their families stand fast where they are. And then I'd like to have all newly promoted sailors and our newly announced Sailor of the Year to come up forward, please. And you can form a line off here to the side. As they're making their way forward, I'd like to announce that the Navy Lakehurst Historical Society gift store here in the hangar is going to be open until 1 today. If anybody wants to go down there. I was told they have heat down there too. So you can browse and get warm. And now I'd like to invite all the guests here to come make their way forward so they can meet real life heroes and those who serve both at home and abroad. Thank you.